begin our formal meeting of the Phoenix City Council with an invocation. Today's invocation will be given by Colonel Olin Hogan from the Salvation Army. If you are able to, please stand for the invocation.
Almighty God, we thank you for this great city, for the people who reside in it and work here, who have over the years produced a great community, a community that cares and is committed to individuals. We pray, O God, that as deliberations take place in these next moments, that civility and grace and a sense that what we're about here is true service to the community. We pray for our first responders. We are grateful, O God, that we have them and that they do such fine work. Again, bless these few moments we spend together so that this community can continue to grow and flourish and be the bright light of this state. Again, we thank you in the name of our Lord. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Colonel. Our Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Councilman Jim Waring.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next on our agenda will be the convening of the Assisted Housing Governing Board. Will the City Clerk please call the roll for the Assisted Housing Governing Board?
Board Member DeCiccio. Here. Board Member Gallego. Here. Board Member Gates.
Here.
Board Member Lopez.
Here.
Board Member Nowakowski.
Here.
Board Member Pastor.
Here.
Board Member Waring.
Here.
Board Member Williams.
Here.
Vice Chair Valenzuela.
Here.
Chairman Stanton.
Here. One more. Do we call the... Next on the agenda is the review and approval of the March 18th, 2015 Assisted Housing Governing Board meeting minutes. Do we have a motion?
Minutes approved.
Second.
We have a motion. We have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes unanimously. Next item, item number 4 on the Assisted Housing Governing Board agenda is a resolution recommending City Council to authorize the City Manager to enter into a contract with MEB Management Services to provide management services at Foothills Village. Do we have a motion on item number 4?
Approved motion.
Second.
Motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Do we have any cards on this item? Any comments by members of the City Council? All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? That item passes unanimously. The meeting of the Assisted Housing Governing Board is now adjourned. Our business is done. Thank you very much for your service.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Now we'll move on to the regular formal agenda items. I believe we also have to call the roll for this as well. City Clerk, please call the roll for the formal meeting.
Councilman DeCiccio. Here. Councilwoman Gallego.
Here.
Councilman Gates.
Here.
Councilman Nowakowski.
Here.
Councilwoman Pastor.
Here.
Councilman Waring. Councilwoman Williams.
Here.
Vice Mayor Valenzuela. Here. Mayor Stanton.
Here. Ms. Marquez is here as our interpreter. Please introduce yourself for the audience.
Mi nombre es Leticia Márquez. Por favor, veamos si necesita asistencia o traducción al español. Gracias.
Thank you very much. City Clerk, would you please read the 24-hour paragraph?
The titles of the following ordinance and resolution numbers on the agenda were available to the public at least 24 hours prior to this council meeting and therefore may be read by title or agenda item only. Ordinances number G6026, G6031, and G6034, S41691, S41707, and S41737 through S41776, and resolutions 21323 through 21327.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is approval of previous meeting minutes. Councilwoman Gallego, did you have a chance to review the formal meeting minutes from March 18th, 2015?
Move approval of the formal meeting minutes from March 18, 2015.
Second.
A motion and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes unanimously. Councilman DeCiccio, formal meeting minutes, March 25th, 2015. All right, so we have a continuance on formal meeting minutes for March 25th. Do we have a second? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Councilman Gates, did you have a chance to
Yes.
review the special meeting minutes, April 15th, 2015?
Mayor, I'd move for continuance.
We have a motion to continue that. We have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And I assume that'll be for the next meeting. Do we have a motion on boards and commission nominations? Vice Mayor?
Motion to approve mayor's boards and commissions nominations.
Do we have a second? We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Do we have members of the public here to be sworn in for boards and commissions? All right, so I will, please come to my right, your left, and I'll swear you in, and then please come behind the dais here, and individual council members like to say thank you in advance for your service.
All right, Ms. Barker.
They're both very intelligent people.
I actually haven't, but I like those big guys. Actually in Scottsdale, but it's apartments they want to build in that district. But there you go, in Scottsdale. Right. Congratulations, thanks for your service, sure, appreciate it. Thank you for your service, we really appreciate it.
What's that?
I like that, just walk on by. Is that
Said,
what you said?
yeah, he said, you have to shake off the hand. I said, well, if you don't want to, walk up by. Not required.
My laugh is the meeting.
All right, next on the agenda is liquor licenses. Do we have an omnibus on liquor licenses?
Motion to approve items 1 through 26, except item 6, and accept item 26, which is being continued to June 17th, 2015.
So we're going to hold out 6, and did we hold out? You want 26 held out or no?
Yeah, well, 26 will be continued to June 17th. That was part of the.
Okay. And so Detective Washburn, if the item 26, which is one you're here to testify on, has been continued till our next meeting, assuming this vote is in the affirmative. June 17th, excuse me. Okay, thank you. Okay, I need cards on those items. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Next item, Vice Mayor.
Motion to approve item 6.
Okay, motion to approve item 6. We have a second. Are there any cards on item number 6? Looks like the applicant is here to speak if necessary. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? No. We have, I think, a 7-2
2, I think.
on item number 6. Okay. So the motion passes. Next item on the agenda, Vice Mayor. Oh, wait a minute. We have a special presentation here. Councilwoman Pastor, what have you done? What hath you wrought here? Is this in order? Are we okay to have a cake presentation, Councilwoman?
I just brought a birthday cake for Councilman Valenzuela since he is celebrating his 40 years today.
40.
Okay, so I just thought this isn't. I usually bring cookies for the council, so I decided to bring cake. So now you have to blow out the candles and let's see if they're trick candles.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks, Councilman. Thank you, Councilwoman Pastor, always so thoughtful. All right, I'll blow out the candles. All right, good. Thank you.
All right, happy birthday, Vice Mayor. I just want to make sure we did not violate the fire code by having burned candles in the meeting here. We're okay.
Fortunately, there are only 4 on the candle and not 40. So.
And Councilwoman, if possible, I don't know if we were able to do so, but cut them in small pieces so the audience here can enjoy the beautiful cake as well. All right, so next on the agenda, Vice Mayor, what is next on the agenda?
Motion to continue item 26 to June 17, 2015.
We have a motion to continue. Do we have a second? A motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Next item is ordinances, resolutions, and new business. Mr. City Clerk, are we prepared for a omnibus motion? Vice Mayor, do we have a motion on ordinances and resolutions?
Motion to approve items 27 through 74, except the following. Items 27, 28, 29, 31B, O, V, Z, and AB, 32L, 45, 52, 60, 64, and 70. Item 31AD, which has been withdrawn, and excluding these items for public comment. 29, 31, 32, 34, 47, 54, 55, 56, 64, 68, and 70. I'm sorry? 39 and do you okay also excluding items 39 and 60.
All right, that's our omnibus motion for today. Do we have a second? We have a motion and a second. Any cards on any of those items? Any comments by members of this council? Roll call.
DeCiccio. Gallego.
Yes.
Gates. Gates.
Yes.
Nowakowski.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Waring.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes, so that item passes, those items pass unanimously. Next item on the agenda is item number 27, the proposed renaming of the Public Information Office. City Clerk, would you please read the title?
Item 27, Ordinance G6026, an ordinance relating to the Public Information Office, renaming the Public Information Office, amending Section 2-224 Phoenix City Code, and amending Section 11-1 Phoenix City Code.
All right, do we have a motion to approve item number 27?
Motion to approve item 27.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any cards on item 27? Leonard Clark, you're opposed to this item. Please come forward, up to 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. My name is Leonard Clark. I'm a resident of Phoenix, and I understand you are all conscientiously changing it because you feel it's the right thing. I just, as a citizen, feel that I'm nervous about the differentiation between communications officer and public information officer. So I am opposed to it, but thank you for letting me speak. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Members of the council, any comments?
Mayor?
Councilman, please.
Yeah, I'm going to be voting against this, Mayor. I think that if anything, first of all, I can't believe we're even debating this when we have major budget issues. But at the same time, it's the question of what is in a name. And again, it's the same argument I brought up last time. It's public information. And it takes away, when you call it a communication office, I mean, that could mean multiple things. It could be one-way communication. But at the end of the day, the public owns the information, and I think any detraction from that name takes away the meaning of what the city is about, and that everything we do is owned by the public. Thank you, Mayor, but I'll be voting against this change.
All right, thank you very much. Any other members of the council? Councilwoman Williams?
Mayor, I'm going to support this because I think what the attempt is we have done a reorganization. We have combined services, and times have changed, and we do so much more than just what we used to do. We do not only the emails, the TV, the commercial, or the newspaper articles, but they're regularly doing Twitter and all the other forms of communication that social media has brought to us, and they have kept us up to date. And I think communication really covers all of those. I am quite confident that they will still serve the public in every possible positive way in the future. So I support this effort.
All right, thank you very much. Any other council members' comments? Councilwoman, please.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Councilwoman Williams, for those comments. I will be supporting the motion as well. There are two events of the last year that really helped me understand why this is important. One was the floods, and the other Super Bowl Central, when our communications office was so involved with bringing together many stakeholders and making sure that we were on the same page with other levels of government, from the federal government to our partners at the county, and that we were all coordinating. And when there were services that the city provided, we also had the services that the county provided, and we could share those together with our constituents, because they really wanted all the information in one place. And so I think this new name change reflects that there are many, many stakeholders who are involved in communications, the public being the most important, but to better serve the public, we have to work together with many other partners. So I look forward to supporting the change.
Thank you very much. Any other comments by members of this council? Councilwoman Pastor?
I believe that in modernizing ourselves and moving ourselves forward and up to date is important. The question is the reasoning behind the changing of the name.
Mr. City Manager, why the recommendation on the name change?
Thank you, Mayor. Councilwoman Pastor. Not to embellish on what was said before, but about a year ago, the council did ask us to modernize and update our public information office function. We have spent the last year doing that, refocusing PIO, as Councilwoman Williams said, focusing on social media platforms and community outreach. As Councilwoman Gallego mentioned, it really is about communicating with the public in a broader sense. And so this is really a final piece in the effort of modernizing to give a name that reflects the modern sense of what we want our office to be about. And I would just say that the name of the employees will still be public information officers. It still does recognize the public there, but it is a way to bring the office into its new state.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any additional comments? Roll call. Oh, I'm sorry. You are correct. The card came in late, but I apologize, Ms. Barker. Please, up to 2 minutes.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor and Council. I have had the opportunity to speak with the operators that receive the calls on this line, and I think I should share this with you. They said, you know, a lot of people call into the city, and they think that we're communications, public communications for every government. They'll ask, that line apparently gets a lot of phone calls that has nothing to do with the city of Phoenix. And so I said, well, how would this help you handle these calls, you know, with these people? Could you add city communication? And she thought that would be, so I'm putting that out to you. If you're going to change the name to communications, make it city and make it easier for the people that collect these calls, so the people know they don't have to spend a lot of time saying this is the city of Phoenix. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any additional comments? Roll call.
DeCiccio. Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Nowakowski.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Waring. Williams.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes, that item passes 7-2. Next item is item number 28. Would the city clerk please read the title for item 28?
Item 28, Ordinance G6034, an ordinance amending Chapter 5 of the Phoenix City Code by repealing the existing Chapter 5 in its entirety and adopting a new Chapter 5.
We have a motion on item number 28. We have a motion in support.
Second.
We have a second. We have any cards on item number 28? Leonard Clark, do you have comments on item number 28? Is Leonard here? Come on down. Up to 2 minutes on item 28. This is the cable television licenses proposal.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. My name is Leonard Clark. I'm a citizen of Phoenix. And I was just curious, I'll pay more attention because you have had meetings on this, but it's just interesting because I saw some language where there might be some other applications of the technology that are coming along. So this is just very interesting, especially everything that's happened over the last 20 years with the 1996 Telecommunications Act, when they tried to open up the cable and give citizens more access, but it's just something that I think citizens, it sounds one of those boring, mind-numbing things, but I think that people should be more interested in this. So I do support this. It looks like you're trying to update, but I have a lot of more questions as a citizen about how we regulate our cable and what goes on with all of that, because communication is vital now. Whoever controls the communication controls the information, and they control shaping what people think. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Mr. Clark, any comments from members of this council? Roll call.
DeCiccio. Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Nowakowski. Yes. Pastor. Waring. Yes. Williams.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes. So that item passes unanimously. Next item is item number 29. Do we have a motion on item number 29?
Motion to approve item 29.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on 29. My first speaker is Kenny Harris. Kenny, you have comments on item number 29? Good to see you again.
Good to see you too, Mayor, members of the City Council, Delta Williams, my councilwoman. Item 29, I'm here as a consultant to Harrison Properties. We are excited. We'll have a groundbreaking on the morning of June the 8th at 8:30. It's tough to be a brownfield developer. As you can understand, we will be drilling 566 helical piers into the ground down to good Mother Earth, sand, rock, and cobble layer. We will be building 172,000 square feet of warehouse space, and we are proud to have the City of Phoenix Police Department taking 43,200 square feet in building number 1, which we will have opened by April 1st of 2016. So I'm here representing Harrison Properties, the owner of the property, in case there's any questions of what our intentions are and what our plans.
Good to see you. Thanks for coming down. Okay. Ms. Greta Rogers. Good to see you. We're glad you're back.
Thank you. And thank you for all who called after I bombed last week. Mayor and Council, on item 29, I request another continuance on this item until full due diligence by the City of Phoenix is performed. There's no need for us to jump at this property, which was purchased by the present owner in '98. It was built before that, and I don't know the exact number of years, but in addition to the fact that it's a brownfield, which we do not need to expose our employees to. And don't tell me that it doesn't still have exigent environmental, breathing, living problems. It does. Any property like this does. There are many other choices within the same general geographic area that I have mentioned to Mr. Dohoney and to others to look into. I do not want us ever to put employees in a risk situation knowingly. And I had calls yesterday from 3 people at the city, different departments, different people asked them to call me, and I never wavered. This is a clear and present endangerment to employees. And don't tell me it isn't, because it's been declared brownfield. That doesn't solve the problem. So go look for another site that doesn't have environmental problems built into it, where we can have our employees work safely and in good health. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Rogers, for your testimony. Mr. City Manager, Ms. Rogers raises some important issues about safety of our employees. I know that's obviously an issue of personal concern for you, so why are you making this recommendation?
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. We would not put city employees in danger, and that's why we have a team that's been working on this on the property side, Neil Young and Mary Vivian Withrow from Finance, as well as our environmental programs manager, Joe Jadis. And Neil and Joe are here and staff to explain what's going on with this property and why we are recommending that we enter into this lease for the city, for the advantage of the city.
I thought it was on. Oh, it is on. Okay. I'm sorry. Thank you, Ed. Mayor, members of the council. We have done extensive due diligence. This process has been ongoing for more than 2 years as part of a site search for these unique operations related to police and three strategic teams they have: the dive team, some SWAT vehicles and crime scene vehicles, as well as an IT component for those unique vehicles. There are some very specialized requirements associated with the facility, and it has been a very long and difficult search. Joe Dugis is here to speak to the environmental concerns. I will first turn this over to Riley Gilbert, who is with Jones Lang LaSalle, the city's selected commercial broker, who has worked long and hard to perform the due diligence and do this site search. And Riley can give you a brief review of the process he has undertaken and what we have gone through to arrive at this property.
Yes, thank you, Council. Riley Gilbert, Jones Lang LaSalle, licensed commercial real estate broker. We're the exclusive representative for the City of Phoenix, State of Arizona, and Maricopa County. This search has taken at least around 4 years now, approximately. I've been involved for over 1.5 years.
Mary and Riley, let me interrupt here just a second. I think the main issue that we want to focus on here is really the environmental due diligence. So I don't know if you're going to address that, Riley, or if that's really where Joe can go. I think we're good with the lease of the property. We really want to get to now the environmental due diligence and the involvement of the Office of Environmental Programs. Thank you.
Perfect.
Mayor, council members, City of Phoenix has been working with the Arizona Department of Environmental Quality, the Environmental Protection Agency, the Arizona Department of Health Services on this property since actually the 1990s. In fact, I worked for the Arizona Department of Environmental Quality back in the 90s, and this was one of the sites that we were monitoring. So this is a former auto shredder fluff property, and the prior property owner abandoned some auto shredder material on the property that contains some lead and cadmium, some heavy metal type materials in it. And so the site was cleaned up by the Arizona Department of Environmental Quality and the Environmental Protection Agency. Not all the materials on the site were removed, so the site was then capped with an engineered protective cap so that it could be redeveloped. The whole concept towards brownfield program is to take these properties which otherwise would never get redeveloped because it would be, $40–50 million possibly to clean up all the contaminants on this property, and to design these so that they're safe for development. The design for construction would have to be done in such a way as to keep that cap in place, and there would be no exposure. The Arizona Department of Environmental Quality, the Arizona Department of Health Services have all closed the site. They're continuing to monitor the site, and there's a deed restriction on the property that essentially says you have to maintain that engineered cap to ensure the protection of any inhabitants on the property.
right, thank you very much. I appreciate the answer to Mr. Rogers' questions. And I'll now turn to members of the council. I think there's no other cards in this item. Any questions or comments from members of this council? Councilwoman, please.
I guess since we do have an experienced representative from our partner here, I just was wondering if I could ask you a quick question. Yes, thank you. So do you, I guess, obviously if we can find more brownfields money, that would be great, but as the site is right now with the resources, do we feel like we can safely accommodate the uses? And I don't think this is a particularly intense people use, but as is right now, do you feel like we're in a good place?
Work with the Department of ADQ, and the restriction was to prevent residential housing from being placed on the site. ADEQ and their program manager, John Patricki, has worked with Roseanne Albright so that we, as the property owner and developer, meet all of the requirements. One of those is a completion of a soil management plan. What you guard against on the sites like this is you want to make sure no soil ends up at a playground or in somebody's backyard. And if we have to haul it to the landfill, then we have hired environmental consultants to test soil. We will dig utility trenches. And when our fire lines to the building, you have to do that. And so we have a budget and a plan to respond to all those possibilities. We'll be watched very closely by a number of governmental entities. Again, this is not for the faint of heart. This is quite a development. It's complex, and we're ready to go to work.
Wonderful. But we feel we have the resources today to keep our employees safe and in a good...
Oh, very much so. OSHA training, and as Dan Brown knows, everybody can take their time to look at that before we start drilling holes and make sure we've checked everything off on our list. And we'll be happy to respond, come to meetings, answer more questions. I'm down there all the time. So
thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate that very much.
Mayor, I have a question for you.
Councilman.
What was on the property prior?
As you earlier, I think Greta, who I have not met, mentioned 1998. The owner, Jim Harrison, purchased the property in 2006. Previously, many decades earlier, there was an automobile shredder site, which piles, so there's pictures 19 feet above grade. There were homeless shanties on the site. It was a disaster. A number of folks got involved in cleaning up the site. It was put out to public auction at the end of 2006. The whole idea and plan is to put it into productive use. It was removed from the state wharf site back in 2013, and those folks really celebrate it as a former state Superfund site. They want to have it developed. On April 22nd, I went to a workshop, presented the project. These are projects that people in EPA Region 9 love to follow and track. They'll end up as a proud addition to the industrial warehouse space for the city of Phoenix, right in sight of downtown.
And you all were rewarded with about $250,000 of grant money to clean up the site also, right?
That's correct. We worked with your brownfields group, mainly Roseanne Albright. We were awarded $250,000. There's a development agreement for that. There's specific covenants on the use of those monies, plan review, permit fees, and, waste hauling if we need that, specific uses for that. Thank you.
Mayor, I met with staff earlier this week. They explained the situation to me. I feel very comfortable now. They explained to me that they've been looking for about 4 or 5 years now for a site like this. I asked if we own any property or any sites that can actually be used, and their comments were no. So this is an ideal site, and I'll be supporting it.
Thank you very much, Councilman. Any other comments by members of this council? Roll call.
DeCiccio. Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Nowakowski.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Waring. Williams.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes, so the item passes on a 7-2 vote. Next item is item number 31. I know there are many pull-ups from 31, but I think there was a card probably on all of 31. Mr. Vint, did you want to provide testimony on all of 31 or an individual item or multiple items within 31? You have up to 2 minutes to talk about the items contained within the payment ordinance.
Yes, I am Pat Vint, and I would like to address every item, but it goes through the alphabet twice. So the first thing you have to look at, they've got this alphabet twice. That's many numbers, many problems here. They want to spend $6,323,081.99. Isn't that wonderful? All you have to do is go to item I, $100,000 to disability rights advocates to fund a settlement of a claim. Disabilities, you know, a lot of us were in good shape when we were younger, but we get disabilities after a while. I don't know what this case was, but to come up and settle it for $100,000 means it was pretty bad. So all you have to do is go through the rest of them. They're just unreal. There's no way that any of you council persons could have studied or know if this is right or not. You're relying on the staff. And I go back 30 years when I was told, if the staff says you're wrong, by Paul Johnson, the mayor, years ago. And I am on the subject and the item, this new system we got here about how to speak to you people, both on the items and on citizens' request. It looks as if you hate us. You hate citizens. And I don't mean that by not knowing, because I do know. Development Services Department and Neighborhood Services Department has destroyed some of my property.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vint. We got your testimony on the payment ordinance issues. So now I'll turn it over to Vice Mayor. So you have a motion on the payment ordinance items.
Motion to approve item 31.
We got to hold that. No, let's see. I think we did the rest of 31 already. So 31B, I think, is next on the agenda.
Right.
Is that correct, Mr. Clerk?
31 was held out.
All of 31?
Yeah.
Okay, so why don't we do all of 31, holding out
item B.
31B, Q, V, Z, and...
It's not Q, it's
O.
I got it here, Mayor.
Okay, yeah.
So motion to approve item 31, holding out 31B, O, V, Z, and A, D.
No.
No longer holding out A, B. But yes, A, D.
Okay, that's the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
So it's B, O, V, Z, and A, D.
Okay, so a motion. We have a second. Do we get a second?
Second.
We do have a second. Councilwoman Williams shaking her head. So any comments, members of the council? Roll call.
DeCiccio. Yes. Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Nowakowski.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Waring. Williams.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes, that item passes unanimously. 31B, Vice Mayor?
I motion to approve item 31B.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any cards on 31B? Any comments from members of this council? Roll call.
DeCiccio. Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
No.
Nowakowski. Pastor.
No.
Waring. No. Williams.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yeah, so my count is that that motion fails on a 5-4 vote. I think I counted correctly, I hope.
Passes on 5-4.
It passes on 5-4 vote. Okay, I added one extra no on there. So the item passes on a 5-4 vote. Next item on the agenda is item 31O. We have a motion on 31O.
Motion to approve item 31O.
Second.
We have a motion on 31O. Do you have a second?
Yes.
We do have a second.
Do you have any cards? Any comments by members of this council? Roll call.
DeCiccio. Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Nowakowski.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Waring. Williams.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes, so that item passes 8-1. Next item is 31V.
Motion to approve item 31V.
Second.
Motion and a second. Are there any cards? Comments by members of the council? Roll call.
DeCiccio. Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Nowakowski. Pastor.
Yes.
Waring. Williams.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes, that item passes 8-1. 31Z.
Motion to approve item 31Z.
Second.
We have motion. We have a second. Are there any cards? Any comments by members of the council? Councilman Nowakowski, please.
Mayor, I just want some explanation on the Buck Consulting. We're continuing their contract, but it says additional expenditures. What are those additional expenditures?
Mayor, Councilman Nowakowski, Human Resources Director Cindy Besry, and Assistant Human Resources Director Mary Kyle, who runs our benefits program, will explain.
Thank you.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, Councilman Nowakowski. This is an existing contract that's an extension for some very specific services. Mary Kyle has that information for you.
So the extension of this contract added in our Medicare Part D plan for our retiree employees to the tune of about $150,000 additional in that contract. But the work that they did for us on helping us implement that Medicare Part D plan will save our health plan between $2 and $3 million year over year.
Any other comments or questions, members of this council? He wants to come back or not? Roll call.
DeCiccio. Yes. Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Nowakowski.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Waring. Williams.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes. So that item passes 8-0, noting that Councilman Waring was not in the room for the participate in the vote. Next item is item 31AD. Do we need a motion to withdraw? Or is that already? It's already withdrawn.
Drawn. So
we're
motion
on 32L. Is that right?
No, 31AB. No, I'm sorry, AD. Correct?
That's withdrawn. So I think we're good.
Gotcha.
32, all of 32 or 32L? We held it all of 32, right? Okay.
All right.
Let's do all of 32, holding out 32L.
Motion.
But you should probably not do that motion. Let's have somebody else do that motion just to be safe.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
We have a motion on all of 32, holding out 32L.
I approve the motion.
That's the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a card on item number 32, I believe. Mr. Vint, 32 is additional payment ordinance items. Up to 2 minutes on payment ordinance.
Yes, I am Pat Vint again. And item 32 is 31 all over again. This time, instead of $6 million, it's $50,543,922.73. There's no way that the entire staff of the city of Phoenix, the entire mayor and council would have any idea what all this stuff is. It goes on and on. Some items 15,000, other ones 11,000, 14,000. Anyway, and one at $29 million. There's no way that you could ask the staff about any of these that they would know what's happening. And there's no way that you guys know what's happening. There's not enough time in the day. That's why we have to hire a city manager that just waltzed back in. But he doesn't really care either what happens as long as he gets paid over $300,000 a year, paid by citizens. The citizens, according to the new rules here, really, you don't even want me up here speaking at this podium because it disrupts what you people are doing. But anyway, it's time to start splitting this stuff up so you'll have some idea what's happening. Even Ed Zerker has no idea what this $50 million is for. There's no way you could know. You're telling me you know. You have no idea. You're just here collecting $300,000 a year with no accountability, no responsibility. That's been proven by the last city attorney we had. He said so. You're not accountable or responsible for anything.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Vent, for your testimony. So the motion is in favor of item 32, holding out 32L. We have a motion. We have a second. Any comments by members of this council? Roll call.
DeCiccio. Yes. Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Nowakowski. Pastor.
Yes.
Waring. Williams.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes, item passes unanimously. We need now to go back and do item 31AB. Do we have a motion on 31AB?
Move approval. Oh, sorry.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on 31AB. There are no cards in this item. Are there any comments from members of this council? Roll call.
DeCiccio. Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Nowakowski. Pastor.
Yes.
Waring. Williams.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes, that item passes unanimously. Can I get a motion on 32L, Councilwoman Williams?
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on 32L, noting that Councilman Valenzuela, Vice Mayor Valenzuela, has potential conflict and will not be participating in the item. Are there any cards on 32L? Comments from members of this council? Roll call.
DeCiccio. Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Nowakowski.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Waring. Williams.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes, item passes unanimously. Next item, I believe, is item 34.
Motion to approve item 34.
We have a motion for 34. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We have one card in favor from Adam Chase. Did you want to provide testimony, Mr. Chase? Not necessary. Okay. We have a motion in favor of 34, a second. Any comments by members of this council? Roll call.
DeCiccio.
Yes.
Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Nowakowski. Pastor.
Yes.
Waring.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes, that passes unanimously. Item 39, I believe, is next. Do we have a motion on 39?
Motion to approve item 39.
Second.
We have a motion and a second in favor of 39. Mr. Frank Lopez Jr., did you provide testimony you're opposed to item 39? Are you here? Please come forward. And you have up to 2 minutes of testimony on automotive upholstery services requirements contract.
Yeah, the procurement process. Thank you. I sent out an email to my representative, Mr. Valenzuela, Mr. Waring. If I may, I'll just read it.
Please.
This, please. My name is Frank Lopez, owner of Lopez Auto Tops. Anyways, I found out about the procurement through the City of Phoenix on May 11th. This was sent out supposedly to many shops to bid on March, the beginning of March, and the due bid date was the 27th. Anyways, I'll read this. Lopez Auto Tops is a small family-owned minority business operating in Phoenix since 1966 and is performing work for the city of Phoenix for 10 plus years. Not until Monday, May 11, 2015, did I hear about the contract above for automotive upholstery services that was up for bid. When I did pull up the contract information website, I found the solicitation notices were sent out at the beginning of March 2015, and bid due date was March 27, 2015. I contacted Larry Jew, who was the go-to person at the procurement division, to find out information about the notification process. He informed me that the process was closed. I asked Mr. Jew why I had not been notified of this upcoming bid process in March, since I have been actively working for the City of Phoenix for 10 plus years and currently am. He offered to check the vendor's management system to see if Lopez Auto Tops was registered. He also checked to see if Lopez Auto Tops was a recommended shop. In an email, he stated, and I'll read it, Frank, after our discussion, I checked the vendor management system, and unfortunately, Lopez Auto Tops is not registered. I also checked the bidder notification list, and a total of 26 companies were notified of IBF 15-116, but did not see Lopez Auto Tops on the list. It goes on to say the IBF was available on the procurement division website from 3:05:15 to 3:27:15 for all interested bidders. If I may, sir, I am a registered vendor. I have a number. I have it on my invoices and my work orders that I receive from the city, and I am currently doing work as of this moment. My question is, how could I have been overlooked doing business so long?
Thank you for your testimony, Mr. Lopez. I think the Vice Mayor is going to make an appropriate motion based upon your testimony.
Yeah, Mr. Lopez, thank you for coming out and for speaking, and thank you for the message. And I want to make a motion to continue this item to make sure that this was done appropriately.
All right, so motion to continue a second. I think the professional staff have a chance to meet with you, hear in more detail your story, and to see whether or not the notification process was in fact flawed. And so we want to take the appropriate time to do that. So the motion is to continue the item so that our professional staff can meet with you and learn more about the circumstances of what occurred here.
Okay, so what do I hear from you? Or?
You're going to hear from our professional city staff.
The motion is to continue this item to June 17th.
Okay, June 17th.
We have a motion to continue. We have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye. Mayor, I have a question.
Oh, Councilman Nowakowski, I apologize, please.
I'd like to get briefed on this from staff to figure out why he was overlooked.
Okay. And I'll make sure you get the contact information, Mr. Lopez, as well. Okay, so the motion is to continue. Please.
We have a motion. I'm sorry, Mayor. I just want to be sure Councilwoman Pastor has a question.
Please.
I have a question. Once they figure out where the gap was, will this come back, or will we go out for procurement if there is an error?
Mayor, Councilman Pastor, it depends on what we find, what the action will be. So, yes.
So I want to be briefed. I want to find out where the error, the gap was.
All right, thank you very much. So we have a motion and a second for a continuance. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes unanimously. We'll see in a few weeks then, Mr. Lopez, and I'm going to hand the card over to City Manager so he gets the contact information to both council members as well as the professional city staff. Next item on today's agenda is item number 45, basketball backboard systems for the Parks and Recreation Department. Do we have a motion on item number 45?
Motion to approve item 45.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Would any council members like to explain their vote? No. Roll call. Roll call.
DeCiccio. Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Nowakowski. Pastor.
Yes.
Waring.
No.
Williams.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes. So the repair and purchase of basketball backboards for kids at Parks and Recreation Center passes on an 8-1 vote. Next item, Vice Mayor.
Mayor, some clarification.
Seemed like a lot of money for
who was the one vote, Mayor?
Who voted against the kids? I'll leave that for the record to determine. If people can review the record.
I thought you guys were going to rip on me for the friendship card. I didn't think I'd get the...
Item 46, Vice Mayor. 47, I'm sorry, 47. We have a motion on 47?
Motion to approve item 47.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on item 47. And we have a card on item number 47, elevator and escalator inspection, maintenance, and repairs contracts. Lee Blevins, you're opposed to this item. Please come forward.
Yes, thank you. I am opposed to the item on basically three premises. The item, as you all know, it's approximately a $27 million award. I do represent ThyssenKrupp Elevator, who bid the project, but we bid it with a drastically different scope, so it'd be easy to see that we would be non-responsive. The bid came out, it's for 415 units approximately all across the city of Phoenix in every nook and cranny, and there was 2 weeks to respond. So the first week was dedicated to surveying the equipment, quantifying the risks, and figuring out what was there. And then the second week we had the opportunity to prepare our bid and send it in. And evaluate the specification. And the specification, I must say, was a terrific specification by the level of elevating the maintenance program for the vertical transportation for the benefit of reliability, reducing liability, and enhancing the ride. From that aspect, it was terrific, but given 2 weeks for the magnitude of the specification and quantifying risk was not adequate. At the last minute, the city added another 2 weeks. This was a major specification for $27 million. So upon hearing about the award, I decided to look into it. And when I looked into it, I started finding things that caused me to be here today. The recommended bidder was Schindler Elevator, which their monthly, their maintenance program for the contract was approximately $3.5 million. And it's an all-inclusive specification, which is actually a great thing. It's an all-inclusive specification, $3.5 million. As you see, what you have in front of you is for about $5.5 million a year. $2 million a year discrepancy for 5 years. That's about $10 million. The Schindler also added a $900,000 for an annual clean down. So that accounts for maybe $5 million if the city chose to purchase that. However, it was already included in the scope. The other $5 million is 100% unaccounted for in the bid. So with that piece and then the other discrepancy, the very last thing, I apologize, is that there were only 2 bidders that bid per scope. The other one was nearly double this price. That raises concern that this rushed through the system far too quickly, and I would recommend pulling out for a real expert evaluation.
Thank you very much for your testimony, Mr. Blevins. I've asked the city manager to see if he and his professional team have any responses to the information you have provided us.
Thank you, Mayor. Chief Financial Officer Neil Young is in charge of the department that administers these processes, and he's accompanied by Julie Krieg from the Law Department. First of all, I'm not aware that we received any protest on this procurement. We did not receive a protest, so this is new information, at least to me. Mr. Young.
Thank you, Ed. Mayor, members of council, this RFP was published on February 23rd, 2015. It was amended several times, and finally on April 3rd, 2015, we received proposals, which were scored by a 5-member panel. Schindler Elevator scored very, very well in our process, scoring 845 points out of a possible 1,000. In addition, this particular procurement is part of our strategic procuring efforts where we combine the needs of a number of city departments so that we can get the best volume discounts and ensure we get the services that are necessary. As was suggested by the speaker, it was a very thorough and comprehensive scope of work. We believe that overall the savings are going to be in excess of $1 million a year under this contract, and that will be obviously enjoyed by primarily the aviation department and other departments within the city. Overall, we feel as though this procurement was performed appropriately in accordance with all council and guidance, code, and city policy.
Okay, and I don't want to speak for Mr. Blevins, but the essential challenge is that the price was too good to be true for service repair for elevators, obviously a very, very important safety item. And so the challenge was that have we really done the due diligence to look at whether or not the price that they've offered for elevator repair for the number of elevators throughout the city is too good to be true?
Mayor, we believe that the price is appropriate and the evaluation panel was expert in this area and thoroughly evaluated the proposals. We believe that this particular proposal is the best and will be fulfilled by the contractor.
So,
Councilman, please jump in.
So, what I'm hearing is that it's the best and they will be fulfilled. But I'm hoping I'm going to ask for this item to be continued. First of all. So I'm going to ask for it to be continued to look into it. But secondly, I'm hoping that I do not see it in the paid ordinance areas for extension of of extension of additional dollars to the contract in the future, if I'm hearing correctly that this has been vetted correctly and has done the due diligence in those items. And I think you know where I'm going, Neil, with this. And so I'm going to make a motion for it to be continued because I want to understand what happened or what the process was, in the sense of we do now have a question. And so I think in our best diligence for all of us is to continue it and figure it out and look at it and then vote on it. But
all right, so we have a motion to continue to what date, Councilwoman? Next meeting, or you want more time?
June 17th.
Motion to continue on June 17th. We have a second on that?
Second.
Any other additional comments by members of this council? I guess what I would like to hear is, again, this is not a proper bid protest. It came in too late, and I don't think, at least myself, is not going to be not looking at the issues relative to whether or not this is the appropriate time to bring up these issues. Really, the issue brought up is safety. So what I'll be looking for is just assurances. Did we, what professional expertise did we seek above and beyond expertise on the panel itself, that the amount of money that's there for repairs is appropriate for the amount of elevators that we have in the system. Councilman, do you have somebody else? I apologize.
Just on my merit, I don't have any doubt that we're going to find the best deal on this thing. Otherwise, we would have seen a protest filed during the period. But the challenge to the individual there is put in writing exactly what you see the issues to be, and let's get an answer from staff, because I'd like to see it myself, and you can send it directly to my office and I'll make sure that they get answered. The safety issue is of concern, but it's also costing. I'd like to know where we're at with the price point on this and whether or not it makes sense. I got to tell you, it is very bothersome when people come to the council meeting when they've got every opportunity, to contact us earlier. And some people may not be aware of it. You got to give people the room for that, because they are the public. They don't have to know those things. It's important to understand that they don't need to know that. But it would be helpful for us, if anybody does ever have any concerns about the way we do our bidding, just to let us know ahead of time, so that we don't create a situation where a company gets hurt in the process either, if they've done everything right. So my challenge again is, Mr. Blevins, is that spend some time, put it in writing, and let's get some answers to it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Councilman. Any other comments, members of the council? Motion is to continue. Second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That item passes unanimously. We'll see you back in a few weeks. Next item on the agenda is item number 52, I believe. Item number 52. Do we have a motion on that item?
Motion to approve item 52.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any cards on 52? Councilman Gates, did you have comments on item 52, the award contract for property management at Foothills Village Public Housing and Community?
Yes, Mayor. Just wanted to thank the Housing Department for their innovative approach on this particular location, and potentially, if this is successful, it can serve as a model for other facilities moving forward in the city of Phoenix. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any additional comments by members of this council? Roll call.
DeCiccio. Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Nowakowski. Yes. Pastor.
Yes.
Waring. Yes. Williams.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes. Next item is item 54. Oh, okay. Can I get a motion on 54, 55, and 56? There's the same person has brought out cards on all three and is willing to speak at one time.
Motion to approve. Motion to approve items 54, 55, and 56.
Second.
We have this motion and a second. Mr. Leonard Clark, do you wish to provide testimony on these items?
Council, I will, give you what you want and speak all at once on them. I don't remember saying I wanted to speak on them all at once, but I can pretty much say what I need to say for right now.
Please.
Today I'll be nice, but next time I'm going to speak on each item. But I just wanted to say I strongly support all the items. item 54, I believe, community development. Well, actually, the one for emergency services, social services block grant, temporary assistance to needy families, all of that I strongly support. I have concerns with the home energy assistance fund and these types of things. I think it's great what's happening, but I had a friend who, because they're hearing impaired, and they live in a care center, that the other tenants were angry because I had to keep trying to get through and be on there for 45 minutes, and the people were angry at my friend. But she called, but I believe she was not given a physical place to go. So I did contact the office, and they were nice enough to call me back. But now that I've called them back, I haven't got a response from them, Sunny Slope Community Center. So I just want to make sure that people who are hearing impaired or somebody who can't get to a phone can actually go to a physical place, so that if there's citizens like myself, or if we have a friend, we can take them or help them get there. My other concern is, first of all, on the homeless block grant services, I just want to commend you and the mayor, because I still remember your promise, Mayor Stanton, about trying to end homelessness. And yes, I'm guilty of being cynical. But if you are indeed our Pericles, and you are going to make Phoenix a nice place like Mr. Pericles did back in ancient Greece, then make Athens a nice place for a while, I'm going to hold you to that promise. My only concern is the people, I believe a lot of these services, to get them if you're homeless, and I am a poor person, so I can speak from experience. My only concern is they have to give their social security number, they have to give a lot of information, and I understand that. But my problem is, if you have a mentally ill person, and I'm hoping the mayor, you're very compromising, you compromise and counsel, you're very compromising people, you're willing to compromise. But if you have a mentally ill person or somebody who's afraid to essentially give their social security number, or they're mentally ill and they can't get help, what do we do with those 50 to 100 individuals? Because currently in Arizona, not that you're doing this, my opinion, I know people disagree with me, our state legislature believes to a large extent in taking care of our mentally ill by jailing them. So what I'm just saying is, Mayor, I really admire what you're doing, but can you address concerns in the future about the homeless people who are mentally ill, who are too afraid to give all that information? I mean, what do we do? Do we let them sit there and starve? I know I have some of my libertarian friends who say, do that. I don't believe in that. Can we address that? And I would like to check back with you in the future on that and see if you and the council can come up with something about mentally ill people who aren't going to give their social security number, and they're going to stay out on the street, possibly die out there. And thank you so much for letting me speak.
Thank you for your testimony, Mr. Clark. So we have a motion in favor of 54, 55, and 56. Any comments from this council? Roll call.
DeCiccio. Yes. Gallego.
Yes.
Gates. Gates.
Yes.
Nowakowski.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Waring.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes. So the next item is item number 60, agreement with MAG for transit planning. Do we have a motion on 60?
Motion to approve item 60.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Ms. Barker, did you provide testimony on item number 60, up to 2 minutes?
Yes, Mayor and Council. Diane Barker, District 7. I'm in support of this intergovernmental agreement with our regional planning. I had participated in some of the meetings that they've had in the past with these operators that are providing transit for persons that are seniors and of disabilities. And although $200,215 isn't that much money, the operators are small operators, and the ones that I met in this program seem to be qualified. In the program, I actually was a person who was offering information about transit, because that's where I have my expertise and knowledge. And I still believe today that education is where we're going to help people access viable transportation all around the valley. And we have ambassadors downtown for that, we need that kind of ambassador out on the heavier routes. And finally, I'd like to say that in regards to our friend Lynn Clark's wanting you to pay for a portion of the parking downtown, MAG changed. They figured if you're going to be multimodal, you need to be fair to all modes. And if you go to MAG, you get your parking stamped, but I get a bus pass too. And I'm saying if the city continues doing what it does, it gives a discount for the parking. It really needs to be fair to other people to encourage them. There are many places where you can drive a car and get on the light rail or get on a bus and come downtown. And I think that it's unfair that you would encourage congestion and pollution, even if you're going to pick up some money on some of these parking spaces at a discount, that you're not fair to all modes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have a motion on 60.
Can I make a comment?
You may, of course.
Wonderful. This is an exciting agenda item. I agree with our newest Citizens Transit Commission member about this. And it is also part of a larger effort. So we get almost $3 million regionally to work on access to transportation for seniors and individuals with disability. And so this is related to that. And it's an area where we actually should celebrate some success. We've had a big May on these particular issues. We had a lot of forward motion with the new disability icon, or accessibility icon, I apologize. And we also, UCP just ranked Arizona as #1 for access to individuals with disability for a broad range of things, but transportation was included in that. And then at today's council meeting, we also, unanimously voted for item 61 to extend Dial Ride and the Ahwatukee Neighborhood Circulator. And obviously, Ahwatukee Neighborhood Circulator is used by many, many different populations, but one of them is individuals with disability. So we ought to celebrate our successes, and this is really exciting part of a regional effort. We still have some areas where we can improve on connectivity across cities with Dial Ride, and working with our fellow governments in the Maricopa region together, hopefully we can move forward on this. A big priority with this money is access to jobs, which I know is something that we support here at the City Council. So very excited to support this item, and I think we should view it as a part of a larger success story.
Thank you very much, Councilman Gallego. Councilman Waring?
So, Ed, so is this paying for a plan? Is that one way to...
Mayor, I'm going to ask Maria Hyatt. Mayor, Councilman Waring, I'll ask Maria Hyatt, our transit director, to address this specifically.
Not to be picky, it was a little bit confusing as I read this exactly.
Ms. Hyatt.
We're talking about here.
Mayor and Council, Maria Hyatt, Public Transit Director. Councilman Waring, what this money does is pays MAG an administrative fee, which is allowed by the Federal Transit Administration to administer this program on our behalf. The City of Phoenix receives the funds, but what MAG does for us is coordinates two different pieces of the planning effort. So with these funds, we have the Human Services planning effort as well as the transit planning effort. And so MAG is the ideal party to be able to blend those two because they have the regional data and do so. Then the decisions come back through the Transit Committee for approval, and then Phoenix applies and gets the grants for all of the nonprofits. Did I answer your question, Councilman?
Probably, but I guess I'm still, so I can see why I was confused. It was confusing the way you just said it. So we get money from the federal government.
Correct.
And we give that money to MAG.
All of the 5310s.
For like secretarial work, or, I mean, you said administer, so I'm not sure what.
For MAG administration is all of the grant process. So it's administering the committees that oversee and provide input into the planning process, as well as the application of all of the nonprofits for the funds, the evaluation of those items, and then the processing of each individual grant.
So it's not building track for light rail or building new streets or anything like that. This is just a staffing issue, and it's not even general fund money, it's federal money.
That's correct.
Correct, Councilman. And it is a pass-through from Phoenix to MAG and to all of the nonprofits who receive the funds.
I'm good, thanks.
Thank you very much. All right, we have a motion on 60. We have a second. Any additional comments?
Just one.
Councilman, please, of course.
Dealing with the recent thing with the Alex, I mean, I was a little disappointed that one of the things that Councilman Nowakowski has been pushing, and I agree with him on, is that everyone should pay the fair share with their Alex and those free bus services. You know, I really think we ought to be looking at that and moving forward with that. I mean, I really do. I'm glad you brought it up. I didn't know whether to say something or not, but I've said it before in other council meetings, but until everyone starts paying their fair share, you create this disparity in a system. And I don't think it's fair to those people that do pay and to the taxpayers who have to subsidize it. So I really think that staff ought to be looking at that and how to do that, and it would save taxpayers at least $406,000, somewhere along the lines. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Any additional comments by members of this council? Roll call.
DeCiccio. Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Nowakowski. Pastor.
Yes.
Waring. Williams.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes, item passes unanimously. Next item is item number 64. Do we have a motion on item number 64?
Motion to approve item 64.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on item 64. We have a card from Jessica Garcia, Vice Chair of the Phoenix Environmental Quality Commission. Good to see you.
For simplification and time management, I can make the comments for 64, 68, and 70 in this one time period, if you're okay with that, Mayor.
I didn't hear. I'm sorry. Say it again.
I can make the comments for 64, 68, and 70 at one time.
Yes, you may. Please,
Thank
of course. Thank you.
Thank you, Council, for all that you do, especially your support of sustainability initiatives that restore, improve, and protect the quality of life for Phoenicians. As a Vice Chair of the Phoenix Environmental Quality Commission, I support and recommend to City Council items 64, 68, and 70. As it relates to the general plan update, the Community Star Rating System, complete streets, greenhouse gas reduction, urban heat island mitigation, sustainable water and stormwater management, and low-impact development. The Commission looks forward to receiving updates on these projects from City staff in the fall. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your testimony. Thank you for your service on the Environmental Quality Commission. I request that we still take these items individually. So the first item is item 64. I'll now turn to members of the council. Councilman Gates, did you have comments on item number 64?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Wanted to thank you for your leadership and Councilman Williams on this important issue. It's very key that we look to entering into new partnerships, such as this partnership, to ensure the quality of our water that we provide to our residents, at the same time creating healthier forests in northern Arizona. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Now, item 64 is the accept the Tiger Grant for the East Phoenix portion of the Grand Canalscape.
My apology, Mayor. With respect to 64, I'm going to be supporting this item, but I want to make sure, and I wanted to make a comment, as I did at the subcommittee level, that to work with staff and make their best efforts to find funding to make improvements to other canals in the city of Phoenix, where frankly the condition of the paths, etc., has deteriorated over the years. So I'm going to support this project, but at the same time, for example, the canals up in the Sunny Slope area, to look for funding and to work with our partners such as SRV to address the quality and the condition of those areas.
Thank you very much, Councilman. Other comments from members of this council? Councilwoman Gallego?
Thank you. I am glad we are pursuing getting our fair share of federal dollars back. And this one is one that when I first got elected and met with folks in public safety, they really identified the Grand Canal as an area where additional investment, lighting, and sort of activation would be very helpful from a public safety perspective. So I am glad we are moving forward in this area, and I think we will have continued success, and we'll be moving on to many other canals soon.
Thank you very much. Councilman Valenzuela, Vice Mayor?
Yeah, this is exciting. We collectively, several members on this council went and advocated for a Tiger Grant, and we were awarded our first Tiger Grant last year, and now we have an opportunity to apply for another. And this one is, it's not just transportation; it is public safety. It is the canalscape, and it's exciting. So I'm sure several of us will get back out to DC to continue to advocate for our fair share. I want to thank our federal delegation for continuing to fight the good fight there, and hopefully we'll get some good news here soon.
Thank you very much. Vice Mayor, any other comments? Roll call on 64.
DeCiccio. Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Nowakowski.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Waring. Williams.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes, that item passes unanimously. Item 68, can we get a motion?
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on 68. We already heard testimony on that item. Any comments from members of this council? Roll call.
DeCiccio. Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Nowakowski.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Waring. Williams.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes. Next item on the agenda is item number 70, and I would ask Deputy City Manager Karen Peters, as well as Catherine Sorensen, who leads our Water Services Department, to give an explanation to this council, more importantly to the public, because in my humble opinion, this is one of the coolest things that we have ever done in the city of Phoenix. This is great stuff. So Karen, maybe you can introduce the item and hear from our professional staff, and then see if we can get a motion on it.
Absolutely. Mayor, members of council, I agree that this is a very cool item. Last fall, the council approved establishment of the Colorado River Resiliency Fund, which dedicates a portion of the Water Service Department's capital improvement program to various investments that protect us against future shortages and protect the watershed that supplies most of our water supply. And so here today are Catherine Sorensen, our Water Services Director, as well as Mr. Bruce Hallen from the Salt River Project, our important partner on this project.
Good afternoon, Mayor, City Council. So last October, as we talked about the resiliency of our water supplies, we talked also about the direct connection between the health of our forests and those water supplies, because the forests are what feed the watershed. And we talked about how important it was to have healthy forests, to have healthy watersheds and resilient water supplies. But there's an important distinction I'd like to bring to your attention between the Colorado River system and the Salton Verde River system. And then I will ask Bruce Hallen from SRP to talk a little bit about some of the details of this particular program. So on the Salton Verde River system, really what we're interested in terms of the resiliency of our supplies is on water quality, because it is the water quality of the Salt and Verde rivers that most directly affects our ratepayers. On the Colorado River system, we're interested in quantity. So we kind of have different interests on different watersheds. This particular program is on the Salt and Verde River system, and it's really geared at protecting the city's water quality to ensure that the supplies that come down to us are of the highest quality that they can be for the benefit of our ratepayers. With that, I'll turn it over to Bruce Hallen, who can explain some of the details of these particular programs.
Thank you, Catherine.
Oh, are you on?
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Catherine. And good afternoon, Mayor and members of the City Council. For the Salt River Project, and for many of us in this state, the health of those forests, for a variety of reasons, have led to us to a condition where we experience these major catastrophic wildfires. And in response to that, there's some major initiatives ongoing to get in and start thinning those forests. But in addition to that, we saw an opportunity to develop smaller projects within the watershed that improve watershed health and ultimately lead to improved water quality and reduced sediment loadings within the Salt River Project reservoir system. And so through the Northern Arizona Forest Fund, which is administered by the National Forest Foundation, we've created this as an opportunity for organizations to invest in projects that improve the health of the watershed. We already have several other organizations that are involved, including some large corporate customers of SRP, some philanthropic organizations, and we're very excited about other potential partners moving forward with these projects. The two that we've selected this year are the Upper Oak Creek project and Upper Beaver Creek project, and we're looking forward to working together with our partners and others in selecting additional projects for fiscal year 16.
Thank you very much. Quick question, Catherine. Just explain maybe one more time why watershed protection in northern Arizona benefits ratepayers here in Phoenix, Arizona.
Mayor, City Council, yeah, there's a very direct connection between the health of our forests and then the quality of the water supplies that come down to us. And the quality of the water supplies matters to our ratepayers because with the swing in water quality, the cost to our ratepayers in treating the water can increase enormously. And so it is really to the benefit of our ratepayers that the water that comes down these watersheds is clean and is of high quality. And the best way to ensure that is to make sure that we have healthy forests that feed those streams.
All right, thank you very much. Before I turn over to council members, just the one thought I would throw out there is just that previously I think it was thought that when it comes to water planning, water protection, et cetera, that the interests of rural Arizona and the interests of the big city Phoenix were adverse to each other. And the truth is that we're aligned. And investing in watershed protection in rural Arizona is a great investment for the people of Phoenix, Arizona. It's a little counterintuitive, but that's what this is all about. Yes. Is saying that our interests are actually very much aligned together. We're not adverse to each other, particularly when it comes to a drought situation. Rural Arizona and urban Arizona have to work closely together.
Mayor, that's absolutely correct. We're all in it together.
Other comments or questions by members of the council? Councilman Williams?
I just want to take this opportunity to thank staff. We asked them to think outside the box, go find places that we could invest to make sure that our water is not only available, but the quality stays in a very healthy system. And I applaud them for going and partnering with SRP to come up with this plan because I think, as you just mentioned, this benefits the entire state, and it is a wonderful first step. I can't wait for you to come back with more ideas. So thank you very much.
Councilman Gates, you had comments on this item?
Well, yes, I kind of stated them already prematurely, but I would echo your comments, Mayor, as well. I would also like to thank Senator Flake for his leadership on this issue as well. And I think he understands, as you do, that this is not a zero-sum game, but healthy forests in northern Arizona will lead to better water quality for residents down in the city of Phoenix.
Thank you very much. Other comments by the members of the council? Councilwoman Gallego?
Thank you. We could also speak to how this has impacted our customers in the past when we've had fires and then had some significant impacts on our system as that turbid or high turbidity, or you might call in more common language, dirtier water came through our system and challenged us. So I think it will have direct impacts. And I also think we saw with some of the large forest fires in the past how much the economic impact was on tourism. And we, I think, saw a hit at Sky Harbor when people were not visiting northern Arizona as much because areas like Sedona got some very difficult press. So I think this will show up in a couple different areas where it will help us. It's not just going to impact us in the water area, but make us a good partner as an economic engine for the state of Arizona.
Thank you very much. Additional comments? Councilwoman Williams, do you have a motion on this item?
I would move approval.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
DeCiccio. Yes. Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Nowakowski.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Waring. Yes. Williams.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Mayor Stan.
Yes, that item passes unanimously. Next item, I guess we're on new business now. Do we have a motion on new business? Vice Mayor.
You already did.
Oh. Right. Oh, sorry. So we finished up with 74. So now we're on to the planning and zoning agenda items. Have we done any of them? Okay. So we'll start with 75. Vice Mayor, you have motion on 75 to 79.
Second.
75 through
Gotcha.
79.
Motion to approve items 75 through 79.
Second.
Is that the correct motion?
So motion in favor of 75 through 79. Do we have any cards on those items? Did we get a second?
We have a second.
We do have a second? Councilman Williams, and then is it a roll call vote? Roll call.
DeCiccio. Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Nowakowski.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Waring.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes. Next item is item number 80. We need a motion to reconsider item 80. Can I get a motion to reconsider item number 80?
I have a motion to reconsider item 80.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to reconsider. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? One no, so it passes 8-1. So now we're on item number 80, which is now we're on 81, excuse me. See, 80 was the reconsideration. 81 is now the substantive item, which is the proposed Midtown Transit-Oriented District Policy Plan as part of reInvent Phoenix. We have to hold a public hearing on that item. So now I will now open the public hearing. Are there any members of the public here to testify on item number 81, which is the proposed Midtown Transit-Oriented District Policy Plan? Appropriate to have Alan Stevenson. Before we hear from the public, maybe Mr. Stevenson, you could give us a overview of what is proposed in item number 81.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. I do have a PowerPoint, but I'll reserve that in case there's any questions from the council. This is a transit-oriented district policy plan that comes before you with approval of the Neighborhood Housing and Development Subcommittee, the Planning Commission, the appropriate village planning committees, as well as the Midtown TOD Steering Committee that was appointed by the mayor and city council. It covers the area bordered on 7th Street on the east, 7th Avenue to the west, Indian School Road on the north, and just north of McDowell Road on the south. It does establish a policy plan framework for the development of a walkable urbanism along our light rail line. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
All right, thank you very much. Any questions from Mr. Stevenson? Jessica Garcia from the Environmental Quality Commission. You provide testimony on item number, I guess you want to provide testimony on all of the TOD policy plans, please.
Thank you, Mayor. For once, I'm making it quick. There's two things. One is I'm speaking as a vice chair of the Environmental Quality Commission, and then second of all, I'm speaking as an architecture grad student back in 2002, 2003, where I did my thesis on transit-oriented design in downtown Phoenix. So it is amazing to now be in a Phoenician and actually watch this come, to fruition. So thank you, Council. Simply put, as Vice Chair of the Phoenix Environmental Quality Commission, I support and recommend to City Council items 80 through 83 as it relates to many sustainability initiatives that the City of Phoenix has adopted. And the Commission looks forward to receiving updates on these projects from City staff in the fall. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Garcia. Also in favor, not wishing to speak, C.J. Hager, as well as Shannon Scutari. Are there any other members of the public here to speak on item number 81? Going once, going twice. The public hearing is now closed. Councilwoman Pastor, do you have a motion on item number 81?
I'd like to move item 81, Midtown Transit-Oriented District Policy Plan with reInvent Phoenix.
Second. Mayor,
a motion and a second, Mr. Stevenson.
If we could just add, per the NHD subcommittee recommendation, and adopt the related resolution.
And we will add that language.
All right, that's a proper motion. We're good. Okay, so the motion is in favor of the proposal as recommended by the subcommittee. We have a second. Roll call.
DeCiccio. Yes. Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Nowakowski.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Waring. No. Williams. Valenzuela.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes, that item passes 7-1. Next item on the agenda is item number 82, TOD policy plan for Gateway as part of reInvent Phoenix. I will now open the public hearing. Mr. Stevenson, anything unique to add to the Gateway plan beyond what you added earlier for the Midtown plan?
No, Mayor. It's the policy plan for just the Gateway area as part of our reInvent project.
We have one card in favor, not wishing to speak. Shannon Scutari. Are there any other members of the public here to speak on item number 82, Gateway Transit-Oriented District Policy Plan? Going once, going twice. Public hearing is now closed. Councilman Gallego, I think it's your hood, if you will.
And
you wish to make a motion on item number 82.
Might make a few comments first.
Please, of course.
This has been a very, very long process, and I want to thank both the city staff and the community members, including the leadership team who were involved in this. It was a really wonderful opportunity to discuss what we want to see in the Gateway neighborhood, which for so many people coming to our city is the Gateway. They come by the airport or by the many freeways that go through this area, and it's an area that offers so much, including our Discovery Triangle. So it is wonderful that we will be reinventing this area. It is an ambitious plan, and so we will need many, many partners from the nonprofit to the business community to achieve these goals. Many of them are goals that are not assigned to the city, but to our community partners. Sadly, some of them, such as one related to Bill Johnson's, we will not be able to achieve, but there are many more that with hard work we can transform this area, and so I look forward to working with partners as we take this to the next step, and I move approval, motion to adopt Resolution 21-325-24 as unanimously recommended by the City Council Neighborhoods Housing and Development Subcommittee on April 21st, 2015, and adopt the related resolution.
Second.
We have a motion. We have a second. Any comments by members of this council? Roll call.
DeCiccio. Yes. Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Nowakowski.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Waring. Williams. Valenzuela.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes, item passes on a 7-1 vote. Item 83 is the Eastlake Garfield Transit-Oriented District Policy Plan. I will now open the public hearing on item number 83. We have one card on the item. In favor, not wishing to speak, Shannon Scutari. Are there any other members of the public here on item number 83? Ms. Stevenson, do you have anything in addition to add on 83 that hasn't been spoken about the other items?
No, members of council, I do not.
All right, so public hearing going once, going twice. The public hearing is now closed. Councilwoman Gallego, do you have any motion or comments in advance on item 83?
Wonderful. Again, a very long process, but a great one. The Eastlake Garfield area has so much of our urban core and history in our community, and I'm very thankful to the individuals who shared their time with us on that plan and the city staff who spent countless hours on meetings to make sure we did a good job. So look forward to enacting this one as well. And I move we adopt Resolution 21-325 as unanimously recommended by the City Council Neighborhood Housing and Development Subcommittee on April 21st, 2015, and adopt the related resolutions. Thank you.
Second.
We have a motion. We have a second. Any additional comments by members of this council? Roll call.
DeCiccio. Gallego.
Yes.
Gates.
Yes.
Nowakowski.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Waring.
No.
Williams. Valenzuela.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes, the item passes on a 7-1 vote. Item number 84 was continued from May 13th, 2015. It is a proposed, is it rezoning? For 7th Avenue and Missouri, noting that we didn't have the proper number of votes present at the end of the last meeting, and so we had to continue, a 3/4 vote, but today the 3/4 vote is no longer required. So I will now open up a public hearing for item number 84. We have one card in favor of 84. Mr. Stevenson, do you have anything that you wanted to add from the staff perspective on item 84?
Mayor, members of council, this is a rezoning request for a parcel at 7th Avenue in Missouri to go from C2, R3, P1, and COGO with a height waiver to allow expansion of an existing broadcasting office and studio. It did appear before you with a 3/4 vote, but that has been rescinded. The applicant has reached a private agreement with the neighbors, and I believe everyone's in support of the project at this point.
Very good. We have one card in favor of the item, Chris Meeser, who represents the applicant. You mark the card only if necessary, because we have no motion on the, I don't know if it's necessary or not. You say no. Okay. So I will now ask, are there any other members of the public here to give testimony on item number 84? Going once, going twice. Public hearing is now closed. Is this in District 4, I believe? 6. Council, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm just going to make a motion, and we'll just move this along. This was a very controversial case. I want to thank Channel 3 and the Meredith Corporation for working with the neighbors. You guys did a fantastic job of working with them. You need to be commended for the work that you did. It wasn't an easy case, and I know it was very difficult for you, especially with whatever the agreement was that you guys ended up with, which, was not easy. And I do want to thank you. I know we had one of the neighbors come in earlier and speak. They couldn't stay here throughout the whole meeting. I don't blame them, but you were able to. My guess is you guys are getting paid. No, I'm just kidding. But either way, I do want to thank you for all the work that you did. We're glad to have you in the city of Phoenix. You represented, and you've been around one of the longest. Matter of fact, Channel 5 was around definitely when I was a kid. With the old Ladmo bags and all that. Now those that are in their 30s, they don't even know what those are, but you've been around the longest, and I think it's just fantastic that you've been able to do the work that you did and work with the neighbors the way you have. And it's rare that we come in with unanimous approval from neighborhoods and the individuals looking for their rezoning. So thank you for the work that you did. The motion is going to be approved per Planning Commission recommendation and staff's addendum dated April 10, 2015, with additional stipulation as read into the record by staff.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any additional comments by members of this council? Roll call.
DeCiccio. Gallego.
Yes.
Gates. Gates.
He's off.
Nowakowski.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Pastor.
Yes.
Waring. Williams.
Yes.
Valenzuela.
Yes.
Mayor Stanton.
Yes, so that item passes unanimously. Before we complete our meeting, I have a couple questions. What happened to the cake? It went away.
Waiting for you.
Oh, we're waiting for us at the end of the meeting. And then one other quick question. Did anyone want to reconsider item number 45, the basketball backcourt systems, to give Councilman Waring a chance to change his vote? He's sticking with your vote. Therefore, the meeting is adjourned.
For the kids' supper.